At this time, we're going to have a few words from our general manager, John Yakuzido.
Hey everyone, how are you today? I just want to take a moment to thank you for being terrific fans all season long. You have come out to support us in the heat, in the rain, and you're dedicated, and we really, really appreciate it. I also want to give a thank you to our team that has worked tirelessly to improve the game and be competitive on the field this year and show great professionalism and hard work. So thank you, team. I also want to thank our coaches. A big thank you to our owner, Bob Coleman. A thank you to our press box staff. You'll never see Can you hear me? Hey guys, we have a little bit of a delay with the umpires. They have a 5:30 start time instead of 5. So settle in with some cold drinks, some ice cream, and we'll get the game started as soon as possible. But we do have a little bit of a surprise that we were going to do later in the game, but instead we're going to do it at the start of the game. So we're going to get this party started a little earlier. And also, I wanted to say thank you because I knew I would miss someone. I missed our trainer, John Ham. So, big thank you for our trainer. So, give us a few minutes, and the surprise over here, we'll get this party started, and then the game will follow shortly after. Thanks so much for your patience.
tonight's contestants for the dance off.
All right, everyone. So we're having Gianni against Abner, and they're going to be dancing to Shake It Off. So cheer very loudly for them.
Again, we're here one more time for Abner and our dancer. Good evening, fans. Welcome to the old PGCBL at Falcon Park, and welcome to today's perfect game collegiate baseball league matchup between the Newark Pilots and your Auburn Doubledays. The starting lineups for tonight's game. First for Newark, leading off the center fielder, number 7, Jeremy Riccio. Batting second, the right fielder, number 5, Mason Parr. And third, the left fielder, number 27, Justin Andorra. Batting fourth, the third baseman, number 22, Grant Ingram. Batting fifth, first baseman, number 31, Parker Zeiser. Batting sixth, second baseman, number 12, Evan Brock. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 36, Liam Whitener. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 40, Ben Buxton. And batting ninth, the shortstop, number 29, Joe Wickerby. The starting pitcher for Newark is number 34, Cosgrove Zeiser. The Pirates are coached by Kyle French, assisted by Luke Backman. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Auburn Doubledays. Leading off first up from Niagara University, number 21, Tyler DeVacqua. Batting second, the left fielder from Madison University, number 34, Bobby Hardy. Batting third, the designated hitter from Villanova University, number 5, Mark Gialucci. Batting fourth, the extra hitter from Lemoyne College, number 36, Adam Sullivan. Batting fifth, the right fielder from Hamilton College, number 16, Gianni DiCervo. Batting fifth, first baseman from Eastern Connecticut State University, number 35, Brendan Smith. Batting seventh, the second baseman from Mercyhurst University, number 13, Matt McGeorge. Batting eighth, the third baseman from Rowan Gloucester University, number 12, Nick Izzo. Batting ninth, the catcher from Mississippi State University, number 31, Charlie Wickham. Batting tenth, the center fielder from Mount St. Mary's University, number 1, Sam Meyer. The starting pitcher for the Doubledays from Lemoyne College is number 32, Luke Van Marder. The Doubledays are coached by Matthew McCosey, assisted by Ryan Fletcher. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask all who are able to please stand and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem. Advance to throw out tonight's first pitch. Let's welcome Cooper Rupp.
Welcome everyone to Falcon Park for the last regular season contest of the year for the Auburn Doubledays. Auburn will be going against the Newark Pilots for the last of a 3-game homestand. Hi everyone, I'm Ryan Story alongside Luke Backman. And Luke, it's been a fun season for the Doubledays. What are you looking forward to tonight?
Looking for the Doubledays to put a bow on this regular season, and especially here at Falcon Park, where they've been, well, to say the absolute least, phenomenal. 19-2-1 is their record here at Falcon Park. They've definitely given all the fans who have shown up throughout the summer a show. Looking for them to do the same tonight. We saw the offense get off to a huge start last night and put up 12 runs. Looking to see the offense have a similar night at the plate tonight.
Yeah, for the Auburn Doubledays today, this game doesn't really mean too much outside of pride and momentum heading into the postseason. Looking at the Western Division standings of the PGCBL, Batavia Jamestown will be battling it out today for the #1 seed, and the team that will be playing the Auburn Doubledays is the #1 seed, as again, Batavia and Jamestown top 2, Niagara Falls sitting in 3rd. They won earlier today, so they clinched the 3 seed. Auburn now sitting 4 in handily ahead of Elmira, who Auburn just completely pulled away from over these past few days. Newark behind Elmira, and then Niagara and Geneva rounding things out in the Western standings. So Auburn can move up or down depending on today's standings, but going into the postseason on a 3-game win streak, that's certainly going to do a ton for their momentum.
100%. This is a game where you want to finish strong. You always want to build momentum heading into the playoffs. And to piggyback, you're talking about Auburn being the 4 seed playing the #1 seed. Currently, Batavia is up against Jamestown 2-0 in the 5th inning. So if that score would hold, it would be Batavia that the Doubledays would face. But for the Doubledays, you're not worried about anything except being here at Falcon Park, trying to secure your win here one last time in front of the Falcon faithful.
Kick things off, it's going to be a quick ground out from Jeremy Riccio, the leadoff batter. The pitcher who ran it in was Luke Van Marter, starting in his first game as an Auburn Doubleday. Here in the season finale, Van Marter, a local kid out of Jamesville DeWitt High School, was an instrumental piece in 2 consecutive sectional champion runs. Attending Lemoyne College next year. First pitch of the at-bat, misses outside.
Gotta say, Van Marter, as soon as he fielded that ball, looked like Usain Bolt getting off the mound. Thought he was going to run over and touch first himself before he tossed it over to Brendan Smith.
And Martyr, an athletic prospect, not just a one-sport athlete, also diversifies a little bit. But obviously, the sport where he truly excels is baseball, where I mentioned D1 pitcher. Worked his way to a quick 3-0 count against Mason Har. Har fouls that one off.
We appreciate everyone sticking around after the delay. Umpires had a 5:30 start time instead of the 5 o'clock time, but all works out.
Well, it does. Just gives us a little bit more time here at Falcon Park. As that pitch will bend in for strike number 2. Van Martyr fights back to make it a full count. Payoff pitch, way outside, and a walk given up by Luke Van Martyr. Mason Har will take first. Bringing up Justin Angora, the left fielder. Angora doing solid over his 2 games in this Doubledays homestand. Obviously, Auburn winning both of them, but Angora going 3 for 6 combined over those 2 contests. And he'll go on that first pitch for strike number 1. Could not check in time.
They've really held this Pilots offense in check over the last 2 games. That one's high, even the count at 1 apiece is only a combined 4 runs for Newark over these first 2 games, while for the Doubledays, combined 16 runs in 2 games.
As this time, we'll see Angora able to check his swing. 2 balls and a strike. Another pitch, this time low and inside. It's the second straight count that Van Martyr has fallen behind in. And on first is Mason Har, who got there via a walk. Har, only 1 stolen bag on the campaign, so he likely won't be taking off. As it's yet again a full count after Angora doesn't go at that pitch right over the middle. Martyr's payoff pitch this time will find the zone and barely trickle foul.
Just getting a piece of that pitch is off the bat, had a lot of top spin on it, bringing it across the foul line, back into the batter's box. Count.
Chance, another payoff pitch. Van Martyr throws it. This one can't get enough bend. A second straight walk for the young pitcher. Now Grant Ingram will step up to bat with 2 runners on and just 1 out. Van Martyr, 14 pitches thrown over his first 3 batters. Took down Riccio in just 1 pitch, but Har and Angora both worked their way to full counts and managed to get out of it unscathed. That ball nearly gets away from Charlie Wortham. Wortham will throw it over to first, and did he get there in time? He did not get it. It looked like the ball was in between runner Angora and the bag, but Smith just could not seem to apply the tag. It's a unique infield for the Doubledays today. They've got Smith on first, McGeorge on second, Bobby Hard, it's going to be Tyler Vavakwa, the normal second baseman, playing shortstop, filling in for Adam Sullivan. And third base will be occupied by Nick Izzo, who normally plays first.
A little mix up, and that's what you can do. Final game of the regular season, have your spot clinched. Maybe if the Doubledays are playing for a chance to move up to that 2nd seed, see a different defense, but hey, go with this defense.
This time the pitch will get away from Van Martyr. Both runners will advance on the wild pitch. So Angora moves to first, Angora moves to second, Har moves to third. Ingram now with just 1 out has 2 runners in scoring position. After Ingram, it's going to be Parker Zeiser, then Evan Brock. 2-1 pitch is hit deep into left field. Looking to get underneath it is Bobby Hardy. He does snag it. The tag-up attempt will score a run as Mason Har heads home to make this a 1-0 ball game. Angora, however, will be stuck at second, not able to make it over to third.
Grant Ingram, exactly just what he needed to do in that at bat after the wild pitch, advancing runners to second and third. Deep fly ball that was easily going to score. Har, who has solid speed, as that one in left center field. Bobby Hardy realized there was going to be no throw home. Throwing to third. Good job keeping Angora at second. Martyr tries to work out of the inning.
And Martyr has now worked his way to 2 outs here. First pitch will be fouled off by Parker Zeisser. Zeisser, one of 2 Zeissers in the lineup today. Or, excuse me, not in the lineup. Zeisser, the only of his kind in the lineup. He's playing first. However, Cosgrove Zeisser, opposing starting pitcher, as that shot is hit high in the air, skied up, and it's going to be the catcher, Charlie Wortham, coming down with it for out number 3 on the inning. Luke Van Martyr gets out of the first, only giving up 1 run despite some heavy traffic midway through the inning. Doubledays will be back to try to regain the advantage when we return in the bottom of the first inning. Your Auburn Doubledays are back here in the bottom of the first inning, trailing 1-0 against the Newark Pilots after a sacrifice fly from Grant Ingram in the top half of the inning scored Mason Har. Now it's Tyler Vavakwa going up against Cosgrove Zeisser. Vavakwa playing shortstop today, switching up from his usual second base position. That first pitch will swing and miss. You know, Luke, his position may change, but the one thing you can always count on for Tyler Vavakwa is that he's going to be the leadoff batter in this Doubledays lineup, rain or shine.
Absolutely, Vavakwa batting .317 on the year. This is that second pitch. He's proven not only can he get on base via hits, but he can also work a good count, get on base, working a pitch walk or 4-ball walk, excuse me, and then once he's on base, it's off to the races.
However, it'll be a quick at-bat for Tyler Vavakwa there as he goes down in 3 pitches, swings at the first 2, can't come up with any contact, and lets the last one go looking. Bringing up Bobby Hardy, the left fielder.
Cosgrove Zeisser walks into this ball game with a 7.65 ERA, 1-2 record, and 7 appearances. This will be his 3rd game started. 20 innings. Their first strike, giving up 23 hits, 18 runs, 19 walks, and 23 strikeouts.
Zeiser, a sophomore out of Monroe Community College. 0-1 count is going to be fouled off by Hardy. Looks like the catcher in Ben Buxton took that right off the dome. He appears to be popping his ears right there.
It'd never be fun taking it right off the helmet.
Yeah, that's why they have so much equipment, Luke. They just always have to stay protected. Gotta keep every part of that. It's like tactical equipment. 0-2 count as it's a swing and a miss. The drop third strike does not matter as Hardy will get gunned down at first. It's going to be 6 pitches, 2 batters down, 2 strikeouts for Cosgrove Zeiser. Mark Gialusi steps up to the plate.
About the best start a pitcher could have for Cosgrove Zeiser so far. 6 pitches, 6 strikes.
Just talked about it yesterday. The immaculate inning is a possibility here. As a swing and a miss from Mark Gialusi makes it a 0-1 count. Mark Gialusi, the designated hitter tonight, while Adam Sullivan is on deck as the extra hitter. Anthony DeCesare gets a night off. 0-1 pitch will be, looks like it will be called a strike to make it 0-2. They'll judge that Gialusi did go. With this pitch, Cosgrove Zeiser looks to strike out the side and will not get his immaculate inning as Mark Gialusi stays alive, fouls that one off. Just 1 pitch away. Instead, the Doubledays will stay alive here in the bottom of the first inning. Mark Gialusi fouls yet another pitch off. Still have not seen Cosgrove Zeiser throw a ball yet.
Gialusi playing spoiler right now. The immaculate inning, staying alive here with 2 strikes. And impressive that we haven't seen Zeiser throw one out of the zone yet.
Zeiser throughout his campaign averages just about 1 walk per inning. So for him to have 0 balls thrown on the inning so far is very impressive. 0-2 yet again. This time will bend a bit too low. The 87-mile-per-hour pitch does not catch the zone. Righty batter versus the righty pitcher. Breaking ball misses outside. Gialusi's worked his way back to a 2-ball, 2-strike count, 2 outs on the board. See, fighting to stay alive. 2-2 pitch. Be patiently not swung on yet again. Gialusi staying disciplined, not chasing those pitches. Now a full count.
What an at-bat right here from Mark Gialusi. Not only staying alive, but working into full count.
Veteran catcher readies for the payoff pitch and rips it just past third base coach Matt Petrosi. The manager doesn't look phased as that ball went right by his ankles. We're approaching the 9th pitch of this at-bat. Gialusi worked his way back, from down 0-2 in the count. It appears that Gialusi will call time as he wants to kind of get a mental reset after getting his way back here. Another payoff pitch. Zeiser goes into it quickly and will miss the zone. Gialusi knew it, immediately tosses his bat back and takes first, the Doubledays' first base runner of the night.
Got to give Mark Gialusi all the credit in the world. Could have went down on a 3rd strike multiple times in the at-bat, but fights back and works his way on via a walk. See that from the 3rd hitter in the lineup is Adam Sullivan.
Sullivan, another switch hitter. Batting lefty. Doubledays fortunate to have two guys on the squad who can both go from either side between Tyler Vivacqua and Adam Sullivan. Sullivan rips on the first pitch, tosses it right over towards the Doubledays clubhouse. Dicer gets ahead in the count for the fourth straight time. Sullivan has had a very good past two games, going 2 for 4 in Friday's contest, 3 for 4 yesterday. Batting over 500 between those two games. Takes the second pitch for a strike.
Safe to say Adam Sullivan likes Newark pitching.
Not faring so well against Parker Zeiser here in this Cosgrove Zeiser in this at-bat, however. 0-2 count as Zeiser gives a look over to his brother Parker, keeping an eye on Mark Gialusi at first. As Gialusi will take off, but it does not matter. Sullivan fouls off that pitch, and Gialusi will return to first.
Sullivan a little late on that 80-mile-per-hour fastball. One was high in the zone. Foul that to the backstop to stay alive.
Gialusi still trailing 0-2, the same spot that we saw, Sullivan trailing 0-2, the same spot we saw Gialusi in, as Gialusi will be forced to return over to first, thanks to Zeiser's pickoff attempt. Yet another 0-2 pitch. As this time, Sullivan will not go, and the ball will not find the zone. Sullivan on the campaign, someone we've mentioned is heating up, especially over the past week or so, has boosted his batting average all the way up to 333 after it dipped below 250 at one point in the campaign. Sullivan hits that pitch opposite, a bit too far opposite, as it'll again travel foul. But something I've been impressed by, Sullivan entered this homestand, this 3-day homestand against Newark, with just one extra base hit on the campaign. He's already racked up 2 doubles over that stretch.
Surprising he only had 1 double earlier in the season.
The 1-2 pitch, this time will be hit over to the second baseman. Brock connects with Zeiser for out number 3. The Doubledays can't match what the Pilots put together in the top half of the inning. Auburn's defense will return when we're back here in the top half of the second. The Auburn Doubledays back here in the top of the second. Still trailing 1-0. Luke Van Marter back on the mound. This time he'll be going against Evan Brock, the second baseman. Just flipped a ball over to Parker Zeiser to end potential Doubledays rally in first. And goes after 2 pitches to make it an 0-2 count. Van Martyr starting strong in this at-bat and will not be able to take Brock down in 3 pitches. That breaking ball narrowly misses inside.
Like the pitch, though, from Van Martyr, on the inside part of the plate.
He's continuing to put Brock in tough positions. Brock staying vigilant, not chasing as he's worked his way back to a 2-ball, 2-strike count. 2-2 pitch. This time will take down Brock, as there seems to be some confusion. As it appears Brock had no clue that was the 3rd strike of the at-bat.
I don't think the umpires do either. The first base umpire is holding up 2 fingers. This has happened to us a number of times here at Falcon Park where the umpires have not known the count.
Well, there's strike number 3. That's an interesting one. Apparently the umpire ruled that the first pitch was not a strike, although I'm pretty sure he said it was a strike.
Yeah, it was clearly the first 2 pitches were strikes. Van Martyr was up in the count 0-2 and then 2 balls. And then the drop 3rd strike. And then Luke Van Martyr throws a 4th strike in the count for strike number 4 and a strikeout. I don't know if they counted that one of those first pitches as a ball or they just forgot one of those first pitches happened.
I guess we could chalk that up to, umpires got kind of a late start in this contest, so maybe they're still getting acclimated here in the 2nd inning as it's a quick 1-0 count. Now 1-1 to Liam Wagner, the designated hitter. Wagner 1 for 6 over these last 2 games. Freshman out of Emerson College. This time will knock one into shallow left field, and that'll drop fair as Wagner does not attempt to make it a double. He'll just stick with his safe single over at first. The first hit of the game given up by Luke Van Martyr.
A blooper that just hit the line. I got to give credit to Tyler Vivaka playing short. Gathered that ball and threw a strike to second base and Matt McGeorge, which kept Liam Wagner from rounding first and trying second. He's going to stand on first base, not trying to stretch that one to a double.
Up to bat will be Ben Buxton, the catcher. Buxton, the only player in the Pilots lineup today who did not play yesterday. Takes the first pitch for a strike. A 1 swung on, and now 0-2. Van Martyr done a much better job this inning of getting ahead in counts early. It's an 0-2 count.
Yeah, fell behind in some counts in the first inning. Ryan mentioned getting 0-2 and 2 counts here in the 2nd.
And this time we'll catch Buxton going for strike number 3. Takes down Buxton in 3 pitches. And now Joe Wintermute steps to the plate. Wintermute had a much better game yesterday after struggling in the first contest of the series. Back on Friday, went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts yesterday. Managed to get a base hit, also worked a walk. This time Wintermute's going to knock one into right field, but it'll drop into the opposing bullpen.
You wonder, Joe Wintermute was batting second in the first game, dropped down a little in the order for last night's game and tonight's game. You wonder if that plays a little bit of role, takes a little bit of pressure off Wintermute at the plate if he's not batting as high as he was in the first game, or it's just an off game 2 nights ago.
Certainly could be either reason for the outcomes. However, with Wintermute falling behind 0-2 in this count, Van Martyr, with the lone exception of Wagner's single, looking to strike out the side, but will not get it. That pitch drops low for a 1-2 count. Van Martyr struck out both Brock and Buxton after recording 0 strikeouts in the first inning. A 1-2 pitch hit into right center field. It'll be the right fielder Gianni DeCerbo coming down with it for out number 3. Van Martyr with a much cleaner inning this time around. Keeps it at a 1-0 ball game. The Doubledays will return on offense when we come back here in the bottom of the second inning. Stay tuned for more. Doubledays back on offense. Up to bat, Gianni DeCerbo still going against Cosgrove Zeisser. Struck out 2 Doubledays in the bottom of the first inning. As DeCerbo fouls off that pitch. DeCerbo went 1 for 2 yesterday. A few walks added in there. Yesterday's contest just going 7 innings thanks to our mercy rule. As it'll be another 0-2 count. DeCerbo was not happy about that. You look at the first 5 batters in today's contest for the Doubledays. All of them have fallen behind in the count 0-2. Only one of them, Mark Giuluzzi, was able to work his way back. As that pitch misses the zone, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Cosgrove Zeisser so far having his way, the Doubledays hitters, but we've seen Auburn hitters adjust as the game goes on, as Servo staying alive with that foul ball.
Seems like the edges of the strikes would have been a bit looser to start off this contest. The Doubledays will need to also adjust to that. See DeCerbo go after a 50-50 ball. This time, we'll let the high ball go upstairs for ball number 2. Zeisser reaching 88 miles per hour on that fastball. Two-two pitch, and barely misses the zone. DeCerbo has worked his way all the way back. 3 balls, 2 strikes. After DeCerbo, it's Brendan Smith and Matt McGeorge, the first baseman and the second baseman, respectively. Right fielder readies for the payoff pitch and will foul it off just past the first base coach, Lucas West, former Auburn Doubleday, standing over there not Lucas West. Lucas West, first base coach for the Newark Pilots. Look, I know there were some rumors that you were going to be out there as the first base coach for the Pilots, but luckily we've got Luke right up here where we want him in the broadcast booth.
Trust me, I wasn't going to miss this final game at Falcon Park in the broadcast booth for anything.
Another payoff pitch incoming here. This time, DeSerbo will send a rocket over to shortstop. However, that was hit so hard that Joe Wintermute was going to easily be able to toss it over to Parker Zeisser for out number 1.
We've talked about Wintermute having his struggles at the plate. Has not struggled in the field. Has played a very solid shortstop throughout these 3 games here at Falcon Park. As I always like to see when a player is able to separate what they're doing at the plate with their play in the field. Wintermute has definitely played a nice and clean shortstop.
Certainly has. As now Brendan Smith, another player who has certainly impressed in the field. Smith whiffs at that first pitch. But Smith has seemed to transition completely to first base for the Doubledays throughout the end of this season. Started off playing either in right field or left field, but now his last few appearances have all been at first base. It's a 1-1 count. Smith over the series, and 1 for 3 in each of the past 2 games. Thanks for sticking with us as we're about to hit 6 o'clock here at Falcon Park. Despite a late start, as Smith not thrilled that that pitch was called strike 2. Breaking ball just 74 miles per hour, caught the bottom left edge of the strike zone. Smith fouls that pitch off. Zeisser with a very efficient start so far. 33 pitches thrown, with 24 of them being strikes. 1-2 count, and Smith will go. Not able to check his swing in time. Doesn't even need to look down to the first base umpire. Home plate knew he had the call right, and Matt McGeorge will step up to the plate looking to be the 4th, to avoid being the 4th Doubleday to go down on strikes.
Yeah, right now Cosgrove Zeisser just slicing up the Doubledays, but if you want to look at it glass half full for the Doubledays, we're almost 2 innings so far against Zeisser's. That first pitch is going to be high. The fact that that was just pitch number 35 for Cosgrove Zeisser. For somebody who's only had to face 7 batters, Doubledays have worked his pitch out relatively high throughout not even 2 innings so far.
Relatively high, and that doesn't even take into consideration the fact that he's been starting off, as we mentioned, with the first 5 batters of the contest, all trailed 0-2 in the count. So he's had the advantage on these Doubledays players and hasn't been able to truly capitalize on that to the extent in which a lot of people would assume he would have been able to this far into the contest. It's now a 2-1 count to Matt McGeorge, second baseman. George can't make any contact there, gets caught swinging and missing for the second time this at-bat to even it up at 2 apiece. 2s across the board. There are also 2 outs. As that'll be strike number 3 on the outside part of the plate. McGeorge not going to go for the 87 mile per hour fastball. Lets it go looking. And now strikeout number 4 of the day for Cosgrove Zeisser sends the Doubledays into the 3rd inning, still trailing 1-0. Stick around for more Auburn baseball. back here, top of the third inning. Jeremy Riccio, the leadoff batter, takes pitch number 1 for a strike. Been a pitcher's duel so far. Luke Van Marter gets ahead in this count 0-2. Gave up a run in the first, but went through the rest of the Pilots' order with ease to slice through them like butter. Meanwhile, Cosgrove Zeiser has had his way with the Doubledays lineup. Riccio not chasing them. Works it to a 1-2 count. And this time he will chase. Steps to the left, swings to the right, and goes down on strikes, bringing up Mason Haar, the only run of the game for the Newark Pilots so far.
Third strikeout of the night for Luke Van Marter. Looks like he's settled in comfortably after giving up that lone run in the first inning so far.
Haar had got on base via a walk. Moved over to second when Justin Angora also walked. Then had advanced to third off a wild pitch and came home off of a sacrifice fly from Grant Ingram. That all happened in the top of the inning as another tough call there. Van Marter on the mound thought that the batter in Haar went all the way around. The home plate umpire checked with the first base umpire and judged that it was, in fact, not all the way around. So it's a 2-1 count. This time it'll be whacked into center field, drops just shy of Sam Meyer for the second hit of the game for the Newark Pilots.
High fastball right there from Van Marter that Haar was able to get around and go right back up the middle for a single to center field. Is be on with 1 out.
Haar getting on base for the second time today. Justin Angora walked his last time around. This time we'll go after the first pitch and not catch a piece of it. Angora, a Finger Lakes Community College product, just recently joined this Newark Pilot squad. Again, they've been kind of strapped for players, only have 11 guys ready for today's contest. As you know, once you fall out of the playoff race, a lot of guys might be not as incentivized to stick around for the last few games of the season. Testament to Kyle French, the head coach, for keeping as many as he can, as it's going to be Mason Haar recording just his second stolen base of the campaign.
Catching the Doubledays, I think, sleeping a little bit. As we mentioned earlier, we wouldn't think Haar would be on the move because of his 1 stolen base, as he proves everyone wrong right there. The count now 1-1, or excuse me, 2-1.
It'll be 3-1 after the ball outside misses the zone. And Marter trying to avoid walking Angora for the second straight time. Angora will chop one into right field. It'll be in foul territory and just a bit too far foul for DeCerbo to get to, making it a full count. Also the second time that Van Marter has gotten his way to a full count against Justin Angora. Left fielder was stranded on second in the first inning. This time, pitch goes way high. Angora with a second walk drawn of the contest. Similar scenario, 1 out. Runners on first and second. Grant Ingram stepping up to the plate.
It was a wild pitch the last time Grant Ingram was at bat that advanced. Both Haar and Angora second and third respectively. So Van Marter trying to not only keep them at first and second, but work his way out of this inning.
That breaking ball catches the outside part of the plate. 67 miles per hour. Beautiful pitch to get Van Marter ahead in this count. Ingram had the sacrifice fly as both runners will advance yet again. Luke, if the feeling of deja vu wasn't already there. Now it certainly has to be.
Yeah, that one just squeaks by the catcher, Charlie Wortham. Gets a few feet away from him, and quickly the runners jumped at the opportunity to advance 90 feet. That's what they do. So you mentioned it, deja vu from the first inning.
I'm looking for a second RBI of the day. Could record number 2 and 3 if he gets both Angora and Har in. Doubledays have not trailed by more than 1 run throughout this entire 3-game series. As Ingram gets caught chasing, or not caught chasing, but caught swinging and missing to even up the count at 2 apiece. Ingram had a hit yesterday and gets his second, not getting a hit, but it will be his second sacrifice fly as the deja vu continues to kick in. Mason Har coming home off of a sacrifice fly from Grant Ingram.
And just like the first sacrifice fly as well, Justin Angora stays at second, not advancing on the fly out. But for Newark, the most important part of that was the run scoring as they now build a 2-0 lead here at Falcon Park. Something that's foreign to them, as you mentioned, only have led by 1 in this series at the most.
2 outs now on the board. Zeiser lets that one drop in for strike number 1. Zeiser popped out to Wortham this first at bat. 0-1 breaking ball misses the zone. Parker Zeiser on the campaign, sporting just a 181 batting average. Fouls off yet another pitch. Zeiser, normally the steady presence behind the plate for this pilot squad, almost always the catcher for Newark. Today, though, switching things up, playing first base. Again, Newark is a player-strapped team, so with Ben Buxton returning to play catcher, Zeiser was forced to move over to first. 1-2 count. Zeiser hits it high yet again. This time it's going to be the shortstop, Tyler Vivacqua, coming underneath it for out number 3. So innings 1 and 3 following the same script. Bricio gets out, Har gets on, Angora gets on, Ingram with a sacrifice fly, and Zeiser pops out to end the inning. The Doubledays now trailed by 2 as we will be back shortly here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's going to be Nick Izzo, the third baseman, leading things off for the Auburn Doubledays. Izzo switching things up here. Hasn't played over the past 2 days. Switching up his walk-off song that we've talked about, or excuse me, that we've talked about so much here over the past few months that we've been here at Falcon Park. No longer going with Izzo by Jay-Z. The H to the Izzo is no more now. Magic Stick by 50 Cent.
What? Going from Jay-Z to 50 Cent? Not too bad. Even though I was a fan of the Jay-Z song, I thought it was fitting. We both thought it was fitting with the last name Izzo, but hey, I think he's trying to get back on track. Little mojo trying to buy a hit or get on base, get a hit.
Yeah, Izzo's average dipping down to 171, the lowest out of all qualified Doubledays batters. Just looking to right the ship. As he falls behind at this count, 1-2. Third baseman will get taken down in 4 pitches. Strikeout number 5 of the day for Cosgrove Zeiser, who has been heating up recently, struck out 3 straight. Now Charlie Wortham, the catcher, steps up to the plate.
This game is similar to the first game that the Doubledays played against the Pilots just a couple nights ago, where actually Doubledays went down in order in the first 3 innings. This game, only 1 runner for the Doubledays has reached base, and that was Mark Gialusi back in the first inning.
Cosgrove Zeiser is a strikeout pitcher, so shouldn't be too surprising that the Doubledays have been getting fanned by him, but it is a bit surprising at the clip that they're doing it at. 5 strikeouts through 8 batters for Cosgrove Zeiser, now going against Charlie Wortham. Inning will end. Order will be rounded out by Sam Meyer, the center fielder. 1-0 misses 2-0. This time Wortham will go swinging for a 2-1 count. Auburn still in search of their first hit of the day. Mark Gialusi, the only base runner, worked his way back from an 0-2 count to force a walk. Lets that one go inside. He'll step out of the box.
Mentioned the strikeouts for the Doubledays, 5 and 8 hitters. Vast difference from last night, where the Doubledays only struck out 2 times, 7 innings of play. Obviously, the offense was clicking last night, scoring 12 runs in a mercy rule, trying to find that way.
And it's ball number 4 for Wortham, who sprints over to first. Won't have time to take second, despite the ball getting past catcher Ben Buxton. Now the second Doubleday of the night is on base. And I say of the night, but it's a beautiful day out here in Auburn, New York. Sunny blue skies. Still 6:17. Great thing about New York summers, Luke, once it gets to a certain point in the year, sunlight till a solid 8-9 p.m.
There've been a few nights where we've actually been able to get out the ballpark still right before sunset as the pickoff attempt not in time. 83 degrees here. A little humid as there's some rain earlier in the day, but no clouds in sight at the moment. Beautiful way to end the regular season at Falcon Park.
Doubleday's offense so far, though, has not looked as sunny. Wortham taking a heavy lead off of first. Meyer not going to go. Drops for ball number 1.
Sam Meyer with 2 impressive RBI doubles in last night's game. Off the wall out there in left field. Follow suit tonight. Of performance.
Doubledays still trailing by 2. Meyer fouls it off. One's across the board, a ball, a strike, and an out.
Dicer working a lot slower now that a runner's on base. Like he was working quickly on the mound up until the point where Charlie Wortham, now on first base, really slowing everything down.
These are now at 50 pitches on the day. Surprising for how easily he's been able to mow down Doubleday's lineup. The 10th batter of the day, Wortham takes off. The throw down to second, not in time. Will actually bounce past Evan Brock. A stolen base for the explosive catcher, Charlie Wortham.
Wortham, great jump from first base as he was going to get there in plenty of time, whether or not the throw was on target or not. Slides into second now. Doubledays have their first runner in scoring position here tonight.
Wortham, just his 3rd stolen bag of the year. Obviously a late addition for the Doubledays. His speed is certainly there. He just hasn't had a ton of opportunities to get to show it off. Meyer knocks another ball foul to even up the count at 2-2.
Mentioned Wortham's 3rd stolen base. Just now 41 stolen bases away from the PGCBL stolen base record that was set earlier today.
Yeah, just a little bit, but out of Boonville, you see a new record set in the single season stolen bag record.
Andy Perez doing the honors. Congratulations to him. 44 steals, that's an accomplishment there.
I think that's more running than I do a cardio session at the gym. As Meyer knocks one, this time fair, into the outfield, and Riccio coming underneath it. Wortham gonna fake the tag up, will stay at second. Now 2 outs on the board for the Auburn Doubledays.
Flips over to the top of the order, and leadoff man Tyler Vivacqua now at the play. So let's see if the Doubledays offense can get something going now, as all the hitters coming to the plate from the rest of the game will be coming, facing their 2nd time against Cosgrove Zicer.
Cosgrove Zicer, 5 strikeouts on the day so far. Looking to add on to that total. Tyler Vivacqua, however, not someone who strikes out very often. In fact, the Doubledays' most consistent player when it comes to getting on base. Doesn't go there. Strike number 1. Adam Sullivan has passed Vivacqua in on-base percentage, so Vivacqua's actually dipped down to 2nd in that category. 0-1 count. Vivacqua fouls it off. It truly is surprising, though. Parker Zicer, we just talked about his pitch count now up to 55 pitches. Surprising how well the Doubledays have been able to rack up these counts despite falling behind 0-2, 0-1 very frequently here. Not their first time through the order. Vivacqua down in the count 0-2 for the 2nd straight time tonight. And won't go down in 3 pitches again. This time fouls it off to stay alive.
Yeah, with the performance that Zicer's had so far, obviously only 2 base runners highlighted. I'd anticipate his pitch count would be a little less, or below 40 pitches, 56 pitches already. Doubledays, if they can at least keep up that pace, might be seeing Kyle French go to the bullpen a little quicker than he might want to.
Especially with how well Zicer has been throwing. Outside pitch makes it a 1-2 count. Zicer hasn't had a ton of accuracy on that 87, 88 mile per hour fastball. Has been much more consistent with his lower velocity breaking ball. The placement has been significantly more there on those breaking pitches. 1-2. Vivakwa with an awkward looking swing to go down on strikes yet again. The 6th K of the day for Cosgrove Zeiser. The Doubledays still trailing 2-0. We'll be back shortly in the top of the 4th inning. It's a new inning for the Auburn Doubledays. Return in the 4th, still trailing 2-0, looking to mount their comeback effort. First, though, they're going to need to take down the Pilots lineup yet again after Newark scored the 2nd run of the night against them in the 3rd inning. Evan Brock struck out to start off the 2nd, comes up here at the start of the 4th, and his way to a 1-1 count.
Evan Brock, one of the first hitters, I think, to strike out on 4 pitches, 4 strikes.
Yeah, that is what happened last time, as we saw a first pitch strike, at least motioned by the umpire, swung and missed on the 2nd pitch, and on the 3rd pitch, or on the 3rd strike at least, swung and missed as he goes down again, swinging and missing. But in that first at bat back in the 2nd inning, went down, swung and missed at that 3rd, or didn't swing and miss. Instead, it was just another called strike. But the umpire ruled that apparently 3 strikes wasn't enough. Luke Van Meter said, "Okay, I'll do it myself then," and got Brock to swing and miss yet again. Brock has now gone down swinging 2 separate occasions this game. Liam Wagner whiffing on that first pitch.
Yeah, Van Marder in that first at bat said, "Ball don't lie," the old saying. Now on Liam Wagner with 1 out.
Wagner falls behind in the count 0-2. Wagner singled in his first at bat. The designated hitter now singled in back-to-back nights. Wagner lets the 0-2 pitch drop barely out of the zone. And the Pilots sporting just a 7-man lineup, or excuse me, a 9-man lineup, only have 9 batters compared to the normal 10 that we see here in the PGCBL. And come playoff time, only 9 batters are allowed. The extra hitter goes the way of the dodo bird. Wagner yanks that last ball foul down the third base line.
We saw the Doubledays debut a 9-man lineup 2 nights ago, but then have gone with the 10-man lineup these past 2 nights.
This ball down the third base line in play. Easy work, though, for the third baseman, Nick Izzo, tossing it over to Smith for out number 2.
I've seen both of those guys pre-game, during batting practice, after batting practice, work on that exactly. Izzo taking grounders all around the infield. Brendan Smith has been also taking grounders at first, so glad to see the connection from Izzo to Smith and respective new positions, at least here at the latter half of the season. Final game.
As more and more players continue to leave over these final few games of the campaign, it's important that the Doubledays can have some versatility, especially among those infield positions. We've seen both Smith and Izzo, as well as Matt McGeorge over on second, be fine with being moved wherever as long as it helps the team. It's that sort of lack of ego and that teamwork that allows this Auburn team to be not only a playoff contender, but one of the top teams in the entire PGCBL, as Buxton goes down on strikes for the second straight time. And the Doubledays will exit the top of the fourth inning, still trailing by just 2 runs. Auburn try to get on the scoreboard when they return here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Your Auburn Doubledays return here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Bobby Hardy, Mark Gialusi, Adam Sullivan ready to go. Still going against Cosgrove Zeiser, sporting 6 strikeouts on the day. Ryan Story, Luke Backman on the call here. The first pitch of the at-bat drops in for strike number 1. Bobby Hardy looks incredulous that that one was ruled a strike. Hardy struck out in his first at-bat. He's had multi-hit nights in each of the last 2 contests.
Looking at the only other game that really matters to the Doubledays when it comes to playoffs Batavia leading Jamestown 4-1 in the top of the ninth. So if that score, it would be Auburn heading to Batavia to take on the Muck Dogs, a 4 versus seed matchup.
And we've seen the Doubledays have plenty of success against Batavia, both home and away. Obviously, the Doubledays have been a much better team here at Falcon Park this year with that 19-2-1 record. Bobby Hardy goes down on strikes yet again. But despite the Doubledays not having as much road success, they've played Batavia very competitively, despite the fact that the Muck Dogs, like the Doubledays, also play much better at home.
Yeah, just think about it recently. Doubledays on Tuesday defeated the Muck Dogs here at Falcon Park 5-3, and then on Thursday lost to Batavia, but in a 11-10 barn burner that saw Batavia walk it off in extras in the bottom of the 10th. So for the Doubledays, even though if it is Batavia and you're looking at 1 versus 4 seeds, you got to throw those seedings out of the window. You've played the Muck Dogs well the entire season to go into that game with confidence, which I'm sure the Doubledays will.
Quick one count. Mark Gialusi, one of 2 Doubledays base runners today, walked his first time around. Cosgrove Zeisser, though, up to 7 punch-outs throughout the contest. That ball barely misses the zone. 2 balls and a strike. Here in the 4th inning, the Doubledays on just their 13th batter of the day. So that's going to be Gialusi, just a tad early, yanks it over towards the parking lot. Count out even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Breaking ball catches Gialusi on the upstairs part of the plate, and Gialusi just could not believe that call. Has some words for the home plate umpire. Petrosi doesn't seem too thrilled about it either.
Adam Sullivan, who was on deck now stepping to the plate, wasn't happy with that call either. Kind of jumped up, down, not happy with that call. Matt Petrosi still having conversation with the home plate umpire. Heads back to his coach's box next to third base.
Sullivan maybe could use the energy, being a little bit fired up to start a Doubledays rally. They've seen a bit dead in the water to start off this contest, at least on the offensive side of things. And now 8 strikeouts for Cosgrove Zeisser, who's racking them up with impunity. Sullivan can't catch a piece of that one, but takes a big chop at the ball.
It's just looking for any type of spark on the offensive end to get going. No, it doesn't have to take much to get this offense rolling.
Now a 2-1 count. After Sullivan, it'll be Gianni DeCerbo and Brendan Smith. Sullivan grounded out his last time up, and after another big whiff, makes it 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Sullivan looking to stay alive, avoid another 1-2-3 inning. The Auburn Doubledays. He scoops one into center field that'll drop in the green for the Doubledays' first base hit of the evening. Sullivan gets on and boosts that batting average up even more.
Good job, Sullivan. 2-2 count, protecting the plate. Was able to, like Ryan said, scoop that one out to center field. Hey, doesn't always have to be pretty, but at the end of the day, it's a base hit, and Adam Sullivan standing on first for the first hit of the night. Doubledays say they needed some type of spark. Let's see if that is going to be the case right there.
Sullivan was fired up before the at-bat. Maybe that had something to do with it, but finally the Doubledays getting a hit off of Cosgrove Zeisser. Now Gianni DeCerbo, who grounded out to start the 2nd inning, steps up to bat. Doubledays had 2 prior base runners this contest as Sullivan jumps back over to first. Zeisser with the pickoff attempt. Only 1 runner in scoring position. That would Charlie Wortham, who's stranded at second. Sullivan dives back over to first after Cosgrove Zeiser playing pitch and catch. His brother, first baseman Parker Zeiser.
Like they used to do in the backyard right there.
Have that connection. They've been doing it for years, and that connection never seems to falter as they've thrown it back to each other 3 straight times. Serbo still has not seen a pitch despite 3 throws in this at-bat. The 0-0 count to the Hamilton hitter. Breaking ball drops inside. Catcher Ben Buxton has to get out of his stance for that one. Sullivan still taking a pretty hefty lead off of first. And he'll take off. The pitch inside, the throw for Buxton not getting there in time. Sullivan nearly fell backwards, but instead will stand up on second base. The Doubledays' second stolen base of the night.
Yeah, it was Charlie Wortham with the base. Last inning in the third. Now Adam Sullivan in scoring position, trying to plate their first run and cut to this 2-0 lead.
A 2-0 count after that last pitch was called a ball. Doubledays looking for their first time this game with 2 runners on base. They have the opportunity here. Gianni DeCerbo has worked his way to a 3-0 count. First time we've seen the Doubledays get that against Cosgrove Zeiser today. We'll see if he has the red light or the green light. 3-0 count.
I think I'd give him the green light right here. He likes what he sees, take a hack at it.
Serbo's been hot recently. Went 1 for 2 yesterday with a few walks. Now the 3-0 pitch misses high and outside. DeCerbo takes first base for free. 4-pitch walk. DeCerbo doing it with ease. Now Brendan Smith stepping up. Runners on first and second. 2 outs on the board.
Kyle French now going to visit the mound. Cosgrove Zeiser. I'd be surprised if he takes him out at this moment with 2 outs in the fourth and the way he's been pitching. I assume this is just going to be a meeting to talk about how they want to approach Brendan Smith.
Late in the season, I'm sure French doesn't want to work Zeiser too deep into the ground, but just 76 pitches in, obviously a lot, through not even 4 full innings of work in a shutout ball game. But with how well Zeiser's been doing, he can, at the very minimum, probably make it out of this inning, barring sudden change or shift in momentum for the Auburn Doubledays. I'd also expect, again, barring anything drastic, Zeiser to be back out in the 5th.
Agreed. I think this was just a conversation. Hey, you got 2 outs. 2 straight guys have reached base. Just calm everything down. Get back to what you've been doing. Take on Brendan Smith, who the Doubledays go ahead run at the plate. Tying run at first base, but you can just put anything into the field. Could just plate the first run of the night, which Doubledays don't have to get everything back with 1 swing.
First pitch to Brendan Smith. Rotation from Cosgrove Zeiser, fouled off to the right side. Zeiser keeping an eye on Adam Sullivan over there at second. Sullivan has a propensity being an aggressive base runner on the campaign. 12 stolen bags. He's taken third a couple times, however. Dancing behind Cosgrove Zeiser, but Zeiser's going to catch Smith swinging there, works his way to an 0-2 count.
Fans at Falcon Park looking to help rally the Doubledays. I see a young fan with a rally cap on already. help the Doubledays plate get on the board here.
Smith with just a 244 batting average on the campaign, but a high on base percentage and hits one right to the left fielder. JP Angora getting underneath it for out number 3. The Doubledays strand 2 on base. They'll be back in the top of the 5th inning, and it will be Luke Van Marter still out there. So stick around for more Auburn Doubledays baseball when we return. Luke Van Marter still on the mound as we return here at Falcon Park for the top of the 5th inning. Ryan Story alongside my broadcast partner, Luke Backman. The first pitch fouled off by Joe Wintermute, the final batter in this pilot's order. They're about to finish going through the lineup for the second time tonight. Wintermute flew out in his first at-bat. This pitch gets past Charlie Wortham way outside. 74 pitches so far for Luke Van Marter. Actually made it through the first 4 innings with a lower pitch count than Cosgrove Zeiser did, despite giving up 2 more runs. Big chop at it there from Wintermute. Can't come up with any piece of the ball.
Van Marter's been impressive, and really it's just been the 2, 3, and 4 hitters that have gotten trouble. That one's low for ball 2. Anhar, Angora, and Ingram. Walking those 2, and then either a wild pitch or pass ball that advances them, and then a sac fly from Grant Ingram. That's the difference in tonight's ball game.
Doubledays just not playing as good small ball as the Pilots have been. It's now a 3-2 count, full count to Joe Wintermute, who over the series is 1 for 7, trying to avoid making it 1 for 8, and he'll ground it right fairly foul over to the first baseman, Brendan Smith.
And just like we expected, Batavia did beat Jamestown. We were talking about that game in the top of the 9th. Batavia does get the 4-1 win against Jamestown, so it's official. It will be the Batavia Muck Dogs and the Auburn Doubledays in the first round of the West Division playoffs.
There is still some hope. It's a long shot, but there's some hope for the Auburn Doubledays. If they make the PGCBL championship, they will have another home game here at Falcon Park. So if you want to hear more from me, Ryan Story, alongside Luke Backman, just hope that the Auburn Doubledays make it back to the PGCBL championship, as it's going to be Joe Wintermute forcing the walk right there. 7-pitch walk. It's Wintermute over to first. Jeremy Riccio, who's 0 for 2 on the night, steps up to the plate.
And while, again, we talked about Doubledays being the 4 seed, last team in the West to get in, it was a close battle. Doubledays only 3 games back of the top leading Batavia Muck Dogs. And if you're the Doubledays, you got to look at it. We had 5 ties this season. Say maybe 3 of those games go our way. It's really a whole different standings
Wintermute takes off, doesn't matter because that ball gets past Wortham, making it around 30% of the way over to third, but will make the smart decision and head on back to second. So a 2-0 count. Dancing on second as the bunt attempt laid down by Jeremy Riccio. He fouls it off. First strike of the at-bat.
Pilots going a little small ball action right there. Get a runner at second with nobody out. Riccio trying to lay down a bunt. Able to put it in fair territory. We'll see what he does now in a 2-1 count, whether he tries to lay down another bunt or not.
This time Van Meter will flip back around towards second. Not going to throw it. Opts to hold on to it, but just keeping Wintermute a bit more tightly pressed to the bag. Van Marter's 2-1 pitch misses low and away. Make it 3 balls and 1 strike. It's been a pitcher's duel so far. 8 strikeouts for Cosgrove Zeiser, 5 for Luke Van Marter. And is coming out of high school where he gave up just a 1.05 ERA in his senior year at Jamesville. DeWitt catches Riccio swinging and missing there to make it a full count.
Great pitch from Van Marter as Riccio was not able to catch up to the speed as that one. As Charlie Wortham going to go quickly talk with Van Marter. Really doesn't even be a mound visit, is just a quick word from Wortham to the plate.
Riccio had an ugly strikeout his last time up where he took a weak chop at strike number 3. Trying to get some revenge on Van Marter right here, who he's 0 for 2 against on the night. This time we'll knock one over towards first base. Instead, it'll travel all the way to the umbrella on the deck, bounces off the umbrella. A bunch of kids swarm that ball. And actually gets past the deck, and now the kid's sprinting down low.
Want to move a herd of kids. Hey man, just hit a foul ball in any direction.
We'll chase it like moths to a light. As it's 3-2, that ball fouled off yet again by Riccio.
Good battle between Van Marter and Riccio as that was the 7th pitch. We'll see the 8th pitch upcoming as Riccio has fouled off 2 consecutive pitches in a full count. Marter trying to look for that put-out pitch.
86 pitches of the night so far for Luke Van Marter. Could be his last inning of work right here, trying to hold on to just the 2 runs he's given up. However, only 2 hits given up as well. This time, we'll take down Riccio on strikes yet again. Riccio just has not looked at all comfortable against Luke Van Marter, who's had his number every step of the way. Now 6 punch-outs on the day for Van Marter.
Now this is going to be the biggest test for Van Marter. Mason Harr, Justin Angora, then Grant Ingram stepping to the plate. The next 3 batters in the lineup. Harr 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. Now on the move is Wintermute, as he slides into third safely. The stolen base.
Wintermute wasn't credited for the stolen bag when he ran over to second because it was a passed ball. Got past the catcher Charlie Wortham, but he might get another pass ball opportunity right there as he walks in to score from third. Charlie Wortham let the ball careen off of his looked like chest protector, a leg guard, and that went over to the right side. Just some unforced errors for the Auburn Doubledays, who have not looked to be on their A game tonight against the Newark Pilots, trailing 3-0.
Yeah, Luke Van Marter patting his chest. The Charlie Wortham saying, my bad on that one, is hit over to short. Tyler Vivacqua fielding.
And the throw made over to first. Vivacqua to Smith in time for out number 2.
Brennan Smith has impressed me with his defensive prowess at first base multiple times. Made nice picks, including that throw from Vivakwa, which was a little short. Smith made it look easy. Been a vacuum at first base in these 3 games at home.
Now a 1-0 count to Justin Angora, who's walked in each of his 2 at-bats today. And this time he'll take first off of a ball hitting his helmet. I guess it just narrowly missed his helmet, but his helmet flew off of his head. Stays in the at-bat, however, 2-0.
I don't know how that ball didn't hit any part of his body, just narrowly missing him. That pitch is in there for a strike.
2-1 count to Angora. Van Marter nearing the 100-pitch mark on his outing. And out here could mean that Angora is the last batter that Van Marter faces. However, a 3-1 count, just 1 ball away from walking Angora for the 3rd time today. But a grounder will be hit right up the middle. Vivakwa slides, but can't get the throw off. An infield single for Justin Angora, who's reached base 3 times today.
Vivakwa showing his speed, at least reaching that ball before it goes out into the outfield, but not able to making the transfer to his throwing hand to get the ball over to first in time. It would have been a tough play anyways. Justin Angora showing his speed as it's going to be the end of the night for Luke Van Marter. Matt Petrosi makes the call to the bullpen. Grant Ingram stepping to the plate.
That'll be the end of the night for Luke Van Marter. Gave up just 3 hits, but did allow 3 runs to score. So he makes it through 4 2/3 innings of work. We'll be back shortly with more information on who the new Doubledays pitcher is. It's a new pitcher for your Auburn Doubledays, Zach Ruffing, coming in to replace Luke Van Marter. Van Marter finishes 3 hits given up, 6 strikeouts, also 3 runs given up. Standing on first base, Justin Angora. Grant Ingram up to bat. He has 2 sacrifice flies today, 2 RBIs as well. It's going to be Angora taking off, but it will not matter as Ingram skies one directly to center fielder Sam Meyer. Ruffing quickly gets out of that 1 runner on scenario that was given to him by Luke Van Marter. The Doubledays now trailing by 3 as they head into the bottom of the 5th inning. Stick around for more Auburn Doubledays baseball. back here, bottom of the 5th inning, and it's a bunch of maybe not new faces, but new positions for the Newark Pilots. And they only have 11 total players on the squad right now, moving nearly half of them around as we see a few changes at the end of the day for starting pitcher Cosgrove Zeiser. Finishes with 4 total innings of work, 8 batters struck out, just 1 hit given up, as well as 3 walks. Most important stat, 0 runs shut out through 4 innings. The Doubledays will try to do a little bit better against Grant Ingram, the third baseman, who's now moved over to pitcher. Liam Wagner, the designated hitter, moves to second. And in addition to that, Evan Brock will go over to third base.
Doubledays are happy to see a new face on the mound as Cosgrove Zeiser. Great 4 innings, really limiting Doubledays offense, something we haven't seen in about a week. Offense.
And something that they don't want to end the season on. They were on such a strong note heading into this game. For them to potentially have an offensive stalling out in the regular season finale, not something that this Doubledays team wants to do. So they have another potentially 5 innings of work left on the offensive side of things, but Matt McGeorge not going to start off the night really any better. Goes down on strikes to Grant Ingram, who was a good first at-bat of the evening.
I was gonna say for the Doubledays, probably excited to see a new pitcher, a position player coming into pitch. But you think about last night's game, Jason Brown, the right fielder, came into pitch, and he actually shut down the Doubledays more than both the starter and reliever for the Pilots were able to do. So maybe the Pilots have the answer against the Doubledays offense, and that's position players on the mound.
Ingram is primarily a position player, but has came out of the bullpen multiple times this season, making his 9th appearance of the year, sporting a 1-1 record with a 10.22 ERA. Generally, towards a solid amount of strikeouts. The walks up there, but not too bad of an issue. Now 1-1 count to Nick Izzo, struck out in his first at bat. Excuse me, a 2-1 count. Izzo fouls off that pitch. He's at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Doubledays hitters just haven't seemed like they've been comfortable in the box against now Ingram on his obviously only a second hitter, but even against Cosgrove Zeiser, just feels like they've been battling from behind, which a lot of cases they have, as Zeiser was able to get ahead in the count 0-2, it felt like, almost every at bat.
Let's count 2 apiece in the dirt to load it up, make it a full count. Another scenario that the Doubledays haven't exactly thrived in here at the plate. They've struck out on multiple full counts, while on the other side of things, Luke Van Marter has walked more batters than he's gotten out in full counts. This time, Nick Izzo hits one deep into center field. It's Riccio coming underneath it, tracks it down with ease for out number 2. Charlie Wortham, the catcher, made it all the way to second the last time around after a walk and a stolen base. Trying to do the same thing here with 2 outs on the board. Wortham with Sam Meyer on deck. First pitch fouled off. Wortham, the Mississippi State product, has had his ups and downs through a short time here with the Auburn Doubledays. His batting average just 200 heading into this contest, but his impact defensively has certainly been there, where he makes almost a larger-than-life presence, but also as a team player at the plate, gets the simple hits, what's needed, and has the power to extend those even further. Falls behind in this count 0-2. For Wortham, the issue has really just been strikeouts. Struck out in about a quarter of his at-bats this campaign. Ball drops outside right there for a 1-2 count. Two pitch misses outside yet again. Thanks for sticking with us here on the Auburn Doubledays Sports Network. We're past 7 o'clock. About 2 hours after the originally scheduled start time. Hour 40 after the time the game did actually start. Wortham fouls off that pitch. Still twos across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. From made quick work, of both Matt McGeorge and Nick Izzo. Trying to go 1-2-3 through the Doubledays order. Will not be able to get it on that pitch. Yet another full count.
Great eye from Wortham right there. That pitch looked like it might have been, on the outside part of the plate, but Wortham saw it all the way for ball 3.
And the payoff pitch catches the outside part of the plate, and Wortham was not happy about that one. He'd already tossed his bat, was taking off his gloves to run over to first. Instead, will have to head on to his own dugout. The Doubledays scoreless through 5, trailing 3-0. We'll be back here at Falcon Park when we return in the top of the 6th inning.
Luke Backman here with Ryan Story, my broadcast partner, as the top of the 6th inning will begin here at Falcon Park. Zach Ruffing still on the mound after coming in for relief from Luke Van Marters. The first pitch here to Parker Zeiser is going to be lined right back up the middle for a leadoff single to start the 6th inning. We approach the final 4 innings of regular season baseball at Falcon Park. Doubledays looking to mount a comeback in front of their home fans. Showed out tonight in support for the Doubledays. As Evan Brock steps to the plate. Tough night at the plate for Brock. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, swinging on the first pitch and fouling it over. Kyle French making a nice play there in the third base coach's box. So the count's going to be 0-1 to Brock.
On the campaign, Ruffing has been stellar. Auburn Doubledays as his 5th appearance. He has a 1-0 record and a 0.0 ERA through 7.2 innings of work. Not giving up runs. Generally aside, you're a pretty good pitcher. I don't know. That's, I'd say, what most baseball heads would probably agree with.
Definitely, I'm not great at math, but a 0.00 ERA, always a good sign, as that one's going to be lifted in the air out to center field. Sam Meyer will drift over to his left and step under that one for out number 1. Up Liam Wagner to the plate, the DH in tonight's ball game, is Wagner 1 for 2 with a single in his first at bat. That was back in the 2nd inning.
Key for Ruffing, he's not a strikeout pitcher. What he does is he forces bad contact, ground balls, fly balls, pop outs, and that's what he started off doing here against the Newark Pilots.
First pitch to Wagner will be on the outside part of the plate for strike number 1. Wagner plays his collegiate ball at Emerson College. 0-1 pitch will be in there for strike number 2. So quick 2 strikes to Liam Wagner from Zach Ruffing has him ahead in the count 0-2. Ruffing looks back at first now. Ready's on the rubber. Delivers an 0-2 pitch. That's going to be a chopper over to third. That's going to be Izzo going to first for the sure out. Good play by Izzo as Parker Zeiser got a good jump and was going to slide into second safely. So Izzo just getting the sure second out, going across the diamond to first base.
Good play there from the third baseman, who normally is on the other side of the diamond at first. Tracked it, got underneath a weirdly hit grounder. While running, made the transition smoothly to get out number 2 of the inning.
And Buxton now at the plate. Like Evan Brock earlier in this inning, he's had a tough night. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, looking to change that. As Ruffing's first pitch is a called strike. Ruffing done a great job of getting ahead of hitters in these counts. Every count except the leadoff single, to Parker Zeiser, who he hit on the first pitch. Gotten ahead of these hitters in their counts. Second pitch low for ball number 1, count now even at 1-1.
One thing we saw from starting pitcher Luke Van Marter, he found a batter he knew how to attack. He attacked him with ease. I mentioned both Brock and Buxton went down on strikeouts. Van Marter finished with 6 strikeouts on the day. Came against 3 different batters. Jeremy Riccio, the leadoff batter, also struck out twice.
Just missing on the outside part of the plate. A hair off the corner. Ball number 2. Buxton takes the lead in the count 2-1. Looks back at second for Zeiser. Now delivers the 2-1. That'll be there for strike number 2. Went back to the outside part of the plate. This time, pitch clips the plate for strike number 2. Now an even 2-2 count with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Runner on second. Ruffing trying to strand him there. Now the 2-2 at 1 will be in there for strike number 3, as he will put down Ben Buxton, looking to strand the runner on second and end the top of the 6th for the Doubledays. Parker Zeiser stay on the bases after a leadoff single. Doubledays come to the plate looking to not only get on the scoreboard for the first time tonight, but also mount a comeback. We'll be back bottom of the 6th right after this. Sam Meyer will lead things off for the Doubledays in the bottom of the 6th inning. Doubledays still looking for their first run of the night. Only one hit so far. Pilots 3 runs and 4 hits. Both defenses have played a clean game, 0 errors each team respectively, as that first pitch would be inside for ball number 1 to Sam Meyer. Meyer flew out to center in his first at-bat back in the 3rd inning. Pitch is going to be grounded over to third. That's going to be Evan Brock fielding and throwing to first. Keeping his foot on the bag is Parker Zeisser for out number 1. The Pilots retire the speedy Sam Meyer.
Speaking of speedy, Tyler Vavakwa and Bobby Hardy coming up here next, but they're both looking to turn their nights around. 4 strikeouts between the two of them.
The 2 hitters for the Doubledays left that are scheduled to come up. It's on Vavakwa and Hardy. 0 for 2 each, like Ryan mentioned, both with 2 strikeouts. So tough nights that they're trying to put in the back of their memory change. As first pitch swinging is Vavakwa. That'll be strike number 1. Not able to get a piece of that one.
Vavakwa's been going after balls here, just hasn't been able to come up with any piece of it. Once he gets that contact, he's putting it in play.
Pitch low, evening the count at 1-1. Ingram's come in and retired the first 4 hitters he's seen as Vavakwa flies one into left center field, as the left fielder Justin Angora will call off Jeremy Riccio, the center fielder, for out number 2. As Bobby Hardy steps to the plate, 2 outs, looking to try and put together a 2-out rally for the Doubledays. They'll make it 5 up, 5 down for pitcher Grant Ingram in this ball game. As his first pitch to Bobby Hardy is going to be in there for strike number 1.
Hardy entered the series against Newark with a batting average in the 250s. Has jumped that up to 281 thanks to going 4 for 6 over the past 2 days, but now trails in this count 0-2, looking to avoid his 3rd consecutive strikeout.
Ingram had 2 strikeouts in his first inning relief. The 0-2 pitch will be outside for ball number 1. Pitcher Ben Buxton tried to frame that one, but to no avail. As the 1-2 pitch from Ingram will be fouled off, as Hardy staying alive in this count. Count remains 1-2. Infield playing back, at least the middle infielders for the Pilots. The 1 pitch from Ingram be high, evening the count at 2-2. Wagner playing short and second is getting a hold of that one as Bobby Hardy out to left field, but hitting it directly where Justin Angora was standing. That's going to be a line out to end the inning. Doubledays still haven't put a run on the board as they look to try and keep it a 3-0 game. We'll be back with the top of the 7th right after this. Make sure you stick with us for more Auburn Doubleday baseball. Top of the 7th, beginning at Falcon Park, as the shortstop Joe Wintermute steps to the plate. Reached base in the second at bat as he walked and then came around the bases to score third run of the ball game. That was going to be a called strike. So Zach Ruffing, who's still on the mound, head in the count 0-1 to Wintermute. Now going to be ahead in the count 0-2 after that one is fouled straight back.
The issues for the Doubledays hasn't necessarily been the base runners. It's just been Newark's more efficient with their base runners. 4 total base runners for the Doubledays compared to 8 for Newark. Just better timing as they're about to get a 9th.
As Wintermute lines it right back up the middle for a leadoff single, second consecutive inning. Zach Ruffing has allowed a leadoff single. Last inning goes to Parker Zeiser. And then after that, Ruffing was able to retire the next 3, get out of any potential trouble. So looking to try and carbon copy of that inning here in the 7th as the top of the order, and Jeremy Riccio steps to the plate. Riccio 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts in tonight's ballgame. Wintermute looking like he was going to take off, staying put at first as that ball slid in the air out to right. Gianni DeCerbo makes the play. There'll be a quick out, number 1. Exactly what Ruffing and the Doubledays were hoping for.
Riccio has struggled at the plate tonight, making contact for just the second time today. He's 0 for 4 right now.
Riccio also likes to swing at the first pitch. 2 of his outs at the plate have come on the first pitch, and then in his third at-bat, fouled a pitch off on the first pitch. So he likes to start swinging early. Looking to bunt there was Mason Haar, and that one rolls foul. See how the Doubledays adjust to that bunt attempt from Haar as the count 0-1. Middle infielders playing in double play depth. Nick Izzo playing a foot behind the bag. Haar at the plate. Wintermute going. Pitches a strike. Throw down to second is not going to be in time as Joe Wintermute has himself a stolen base, his second of the game.
It has advanced 4 times, 2 stolen bases, as Luke mentioned, 2 passed balls, one of which he scored a run on.
The pitch was called a strike, so Mason Haar down in the count 0-2 to Zach Ruffing. Ruffing looking back at second, now deals the 0-2. That one's going to be high for ball number 1.
Just the 3rd ball that Ruffing has thrown through 21 pitches tonight.
I didn't realize it was that balls. Wow.
He's been incredibly efficient. Now if he can just prevent Wintermute from advancing any further.
Going to be outside even in the count at 2-2. If he walks him, I'm going to blame you for the announcer jinx.
Yeah, that definitely could be in play right there. The announcer jinx seems to have an undefeated record. It's just like Father Time. It never loses.
Never loses. Now 2-2 as Ruffing again looking back. Joe Wintermute leads off second. Now delivers the 2-2 pitch. That's going to be hit in the air but fouled down the right field line. Mason Haar stays alive. Justin Angora on deck. He's reached 3 times tonight. Ruffing trying to worry about Haar, the hitter at the plate. Looking into Charlie Wortham behind the plate. Sign finally gets one he likes, now delivers the 2-2, which will be strike number 3 on the outside part of the plate, ringing up Mason Haar for out number 2. Justin Angora steps to the plate. Mentioned him reaching 3 times in the ball game. 2 walks and an infield single is how he's been able to do so. Been stranded at second base whenever he walked, is turning back and firing over to Matt McGeorge, who wasn't necessarily covering second base, was in the vicinity of it, is Zach Ruffing. Again, trying to keep Joe Wintermute honest, as Wintermute did have one of his 2 stolen bases, stealing third base, so Stranger to try and take off for third. First pitch to Angora is going to be swung on and fouled straight back. Angora taking a big swing at that one.
Single from Angora here could potentially score Wintermute from second, something that, Ruffing is trying to avoid.
Trying to keep it at a 3-run ball game. At least give this Doubledays offense a chance. Pilots have scored in all the odd innings so far. That pitch inside for ball 1, scored 1 run in each the first, third, and fifth innings. Here in the 7th, threatening with a runner in scoring position. Doubledays trying to break the trend.
1s and 0s, just alternating. It's like some sort of coding program.
On the move is Wintermute as the ground ball over to second. McGeorge will field it, now fire to first in time to get Justin Angora, as the bench of the Pilots are in an uproar, believing Angora actually beat the throw out at first. I think that was the right call, though. I believe throw got there to beat him by half a step, as Kyle French will make his way over to the infield umpire to talk about that call. Either way, it's the end of the top of the 7th. Doubledays, again, still trying to mount a comeback, down 3-0 in the ball game. They'll step to the plate. Be right back with more Doubledays baseball right after this. Bottom of the 7th at Falcon Park, as Doubledays again trail 3-0. Have only 1 hit so far in this ball game. That was the Adam Sullivan 2-out hit in the 4th inning. Other than that, Doubledays have not secured a hit or a base runner. 2 innings. First pitch is going to be a strike to Mark J. Lucy, who's 0 for 1. He did walk in his first at-bat, 9-pitch at-bat in the first inning. That pitch will be outside for ball number 1. As we come to closing, wrapping up the regular season at Falcon Park, Ryan, I want to ask, have there been any moments here for the Doubledays that have really stuck out and you've enjoyed? Maybe, top 1 or 2 moments that you've just enjoyed being here for this summer.
Well, I think you've definitely got to point out the 2 home runs hit here at Falcon Park by the Doubledays. And Colson Thompson's blast early on in the campaign. Anthony DeCesare's dinger that just a few days ago. Doubledays haven't exactly hit all their homers here, but when they have, they've been certainly enthusiastic about it. They also have to try to HOA night, a near flawless game with some fireworks afterwards, as that's hit over to center field.
Jeremy Riccio making the sliding grab as Riccio got a great jump on that ball and was able to make the sliding grab for out number 1. Again, looks like everything going the Pilots' way at the moment as Adam Sullivan steps to the plate, the lone Doubleday with a hit in the ball game.
Got any moments sticking out to you?
I think in the home runs, of course. Unfortunately, I missed HOA night, but I was watching. Looked like an incredible night. I think if I had to put top moment, I'd go Kieran Kehoe's walk-off against the Jamestown Tarp Skunks, and which the Doubledays actually swept that doubleheader as that pitch is outside. Who knows if the Doubledays are able to win their first round game and Jamestown wins their first round game, we could see a rematch between the 2 teams in the playoffs if both are able to get wins. That pitch is outside for ball number 2.
Kehoe no longer with the Doubledays, but he's been following along with the team throughout the latter half of this campaign.
As the count 2-0 here to Adam Sullivan. Overall, it's been fun to come to Falcon Park every single night. There's been a game that pitch low count now 3-0. As the Doubledays clearly have had success, we've highlighted it a numerous amount of times. The 19-2-1 record. Safe to say, Doubledays players have felt comfortable here at Falcon Park, playing in front of their home fans. As the 3-0 pitch from Ingram is going to be low. Taking first base is going to be Adam Sullivan for the second time tonight. First time via a walk. It's going to be a 1-out walk, bringing up Gianni DeSerbo to the plate.
Win over 90% of your home contests. It's generally a good sign that things are going well for your team. Obviously, Auburn hasn't quite been able to replicate that on the road, but the Doubledays have certainly proved to be formidable, no matter who their opponent is.
DeSerbo steps to the plate, looking to get a rally going for the Doubledays. Lays down the bump, but that one goes foul. Chase that pitch outside the strike zone to get the bat to the ball. That'll be strike 1 for DeSerbo. For the Doubledays again, even on the road, 4 ties on the road. So you look at some of those games, you're probably thinking, we should have won those games. Your record's completely different. Hey, maybe you in the standings is different. Either way, have to feel confident heading into the postseason. Pitch outside for ball 1, evening the count at 1-1. We appreciate all the Doubledays fans that have tuned in throughout the season here into the broadcast, and everybody who showed up to Falcon Park to support the Doubledays, as this pitch is going to curve in for strike at number 2 to Gianni DeSerbo. And if you want to support the team next summer, season tickets are available for the 2026 season. We mentioned how much the Doubledays love playing in front of their home fans. You don't want to miss out on that opportunity, so check out the website for more. As Grant Ingram will take a step off the rubber and lollipop a throw over the first base. As our great general manager, Janya Cousineau, getting the crowd hyped right here on the bottom of the 7th. You can see her holding the Go Doubledays sign at the bottom of your screen. Is the throw over from Grant Ingram. The first, once again, not in time. Pitch is going to be hit into center field. Riccio coming in, going to have to play it off a hop. As now advancing to third is Adam Sullivan. This throw's going to be offline. Doubledays have runners on the corners here, showing signs of life for the first time tonight.
Adam Sullivan Looked like he was taking off no matter what. If that ball was caught, Sullivan would have been in some jeopardy, maybe getting thrown out, running back to first. But instead, he capitalized on the risky move and made his way over to third. Auburn, more momentum than they've showed all night so far, and Kyle French is going to have a chat with Grant Ingram.
As Grant Ingram is actually asking for something out of the dugout. I think he was asking for water. As I think he just said, hey, if you can't get it, it's no worries. But I think that was a great point you made about Adam Sullivan. He was already practically at second base right when that ball landed. And actually, no, Grant Ingram is rubbing the sweat off of his hand. But back to that point about Adam Sullivan, he was going no matter what. And as soon as that ball dropped, he was off to the races to third base to get 90 feet from home plate. So that is going to put the Doubledays now at first and third with one out, bringing up Brendan Smith, who's 0 for 2 in tonight's game.
Big opportunity here for the Doubledays. And have struggled all night. They've just looked kind of stagnant, knowing that this game doesn't really mean much. But pride is important. Pride is something that this team needs to have come playoff time. They could get some momentum. Right now, they have the tying run standing at home in Brendan Smith.
Brendan Smith, the batter's box. Grant Ingram remains in the game as the pitch to Smith is going to be hit on the ground over to short. That's going to be Wintermute making the play at second. Now firing to first in time for a double play as the Pilots get out of a jam and the Doubledays strand a golden opportunity. They aren't able to plate any runs. The double play ends their rally in the bottom of the seventh. Come to the top of the eighth with the Doubledays trying to keep it at only a 3-run ball game to give their offense a chance. The back end of this ball game. We'll be back with the top of the eighth right after this. Stick with us for more Doubledays baseball.
Back here in top of the eighth inning, the Doubledays stranded 2 at the bottom half of the seventh, still trails 3-0. Their regular season finale, home finale against Newark Pilots. Ruffing still on the mound, this time going against Grant Ingram, the third baseman turned pitcher. Ingram works his way to a quick 2-0 count. This time Ingram will hit it sky high. The second baseman, George, 4 infielders converging on it. Instead, it'll be the third baseman who drops it. Izzo can't manage to secure that ball. It's an error, and Ingram will take first base. Doubledays just making some of those unforced errors that they've avoided over the past week or so. Could it be the death blow for them this game? The first true error recorded right there, but we've seen a few passed balls, miscommunications, and the Doubledays just haven't looked like themselves. At least haven't looked like what they've shown in the past week of action. As that's a chopper hit right over to the third baseman who can't come down with that. It's a second consecutive error for Nick Izzo, who has not looked his best playing in a new position in third base. Parker Zeiser on first, Grant Ingram on second, both capitalizing off of errors from Nick Izzo. That'll bring up Evan Brock, who lays down a bunt, tries to pull it back, but it'll be called a strike. It's an 0-1 count with 2 runners on, no outs, and a single blooper hit into right center field. Gianni DeSerbo getting underneath it. That's a single that loads the bases for the Newark Pilots. Zach Ruffing in some trouble. However, only one of the 3 runners are earned. There'll be a pinch hitter for the Newark Pilots, Jason Brown, stepping to the plate in replacement of Liam Wagner. Bases are loaded. Jason Brown going up. Sticking with us as we hit 7:45 p.m. in the top of the 8th inning. And it's a 1-0 count. Ruffing has to be careful here. Can't get into any issues with walks, because a walk would score a run, and a Doubledays team that just frankly hasn't been able to score cannot afford to be down by even more than 3, as another ball misses the zone to make it a 2-0 count. Brown yesterday went 1 for 4 at the plate, but perhaps even more impressively, pitched for 3 innings and only gave up 1 earned run. Drastic difference from previous Newark pitchers who gave up a combined total of 11 in the 3 innings before that. 2-1 count after that ball's fouled off by Jason Brown. A strike number 2 will be called. Jason Brown not happy about that call. There's been some general animosity between the players and the umpires all game. Haven't agreed with some of the balls and strikes being called. It's now a 2-2 count. Ruffing has fought his way back here in this at-bat. As a swing and a miss takes down Jason Brown, who shouted to himself after that swing. Ruffing trying to work his way out of a jam. The best way to do it, getting strikeouts.
Huge first out right there from Ruffing after loading the bases. As Ben Buxton, now the catcher, steps to the plate. Buxton 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts in tonight's ball game. Ruffing trying to take advantage of the struggles from the catcher. Bases remain loaded. Pitch Ruffing to Buxton will be just outside for ball number 1.
Nothing Ruffing like more here than to strike out Buxton for the 4th time today. Although maybe he'd prefer a double play rounder.
That one will be lifted, and Nick Izzo will give chase after it, but it will go on to the concourse for strike number 1, evening the count at 1. I think Ruffing, he'd love a double play, but can't be mad at a strikeout in this.
Certainly can't be mad. Ruffing 2 punch-outs of the day so far. Excuse me, 3 after that strikeout of Jason Brown.
1-1 pitch is going to be hit in the air. That's going to be out in left field. Hardy is coming in. He'll make the grab, and that's shallow enough that it's not going to be able to allow Grant Ingram to tag from third. A huge fly out to left field for Zach Ruffing is now he's seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, trying to escape the top of the 8th after having the bases loaded against him. He's 1 out away from doing so, as it'll be the number 9 hitter in the batter batter Joe Wintermute has reached twice tonight and singled in his last at bat. First pitch from Ruffing is going to be outside for ball number 1.
I want to give some credit to Tyler Vivacqua on that last play, running all the way from shortstop into foul territory. Would have probably been able to make a play on it had Bobby Hardy not been in better position.
Count the hit foul, evening the count at 1-1. If the Doubledays are able to get out of this jam, you got to think, hey, that's all the momentum in the world you need going into the bottom of the 8th. If you're still only down by 3 runs, you haven't made any momentum swings on the offensive side of the ball. This would be a huge one on the defensive side as the 1 pitch is high for ball number 2, count now 2-1. So Ingram stands off third, Zeiser off second, and Brock off first with Wintermute at the plate. Working from the windup, Zach Ruffing. 2-1 pitch is going to be fouled off 71 miles per hour. That brings the count even at 2-2 with 2 outs. Ruffing 1 strike away from getting out of the top of the 8th inning. Wintermute steps back into the box, Ruffing onto the rubber. Is the pitcher as he gets the sign he likes, delivers the 2-2 pitch in there for strike number 3. Zach Ruffing gets out of the top of the 8th inning. That saw 3 consecutive runners get on to start the inning. He leaves the bases stranded, not allowing anyone for the Pilots to come in and score. A huge strikeout from Ruffing as the Doubledays come to the plate, hoping to bring that momentum to the bottom half of the 8th. They still trail 3-0, looking to make the comeback start now. We'll be back with more Doubledays baseball right after this. Bottom of the 8th inning as the Doubledays trying to take that momentum from Zach Ruffing, striking out. Joe Wintermute looking get out of a bases-loaded jam in the top half of the inning. Now Matt McGeorge leading off for the Doubledays in the bottom half of the inning. Crowd getting it into the game in between innings. Sweet Caroline played as the first pitch here to Matt McGeorge, a called strike.
Big momentum, something that Doubledays certainly want more of. They've seemed to kind of have a little ahead, 2 runners on their last time up despite the double play. Maybe things are looking better for this Doubledays lineup.
Second pitch is high, count out even at 1-1. Ryan, you believe momentum is a thing, right?
Of course, it's intangible, but that certainly has to play a role in nearly every sporting event we've ever seen.
One fouled off. Count now 1-2. I just asked because I've heard people make the argument that momentum's not a real thing and it doesn't really mean anything in any type of sporting event, and I couldn't disagree, more. I totally agree with your point. I think momentum is a huge thing, and for the Doubledays, if they can get a rally going, I'd point right back to the top of the 8th as the starting point. That pitch is going to be just outside for ball number 2.
Anybody who says momentum doesn't exist just probably hasn't played the sport themselves. It's something that you can't pick up if you're just looking at the numbers, just at the stat sheets, but it's something that plays a major role, especially in the sport of baseball.
Agreed. That's not something you just see in the box scores. Grant Ingram's going to step off of the mound and recollect his thoughts as he finds the pitch he wants to deal Matt McGeorge in a 2-2 count, as that one's going to be high and over the head of McGeorge, bringing the count full, now 3-2, as Ben Buxton will walk about a third of the way to the mound, deliver a new ball that isn't to Grant Ingram's liking. He throws it over to the dugout as Buxton retrieves a new ball. Grant Ingram approves. We will see a 3-2 payoff pitch upcoming. Crowd getting into it as the payoff is going to be in there for strike number 3. As the breaking ball gets McGeorge looking for out number 1.
Now struck out 3 times tonight, needs to turn things around before the playoff time, because he's going to be an impactful piece in the Doubledays infield. Someone who's really stepped up over the past few days and need his hitting prowess to return.
First pitch from Ingram to Izzo will be a called strike. As on deck is Charlie Wortham. Doubledays trying to get runners on. Only 2 hits in the contest tonight. Second pitch curves in there for strike number 2. So quickly now Grant Ingram is ahead in the count versus Nick Izzo, 0-2. Ingram comes set on the mound and delivers a pitch that is going to be on the outside corner for strike number 3. Izzo wasn't a fan of it. Neither were the fans at Falcon Park. Is 1, 2, 3 pitches. Sit down, Nick Izzo. Second consecutive strikeout looking for the pitcher Grant Ingram.
That was a tough call, but just looking at the total numbers on the day, Doubledays have struck out 11 times. Unacceptable from this Auburn team, trying to end the season with a bang. Instead, it looks like it might just be an unsatisfying fizz.
As the home plate umpire, I believe, called time to either look at the dugout of the Doubledays or manager Matt Petrosi, and say, is that all? I'm not going to hear any more, as the chirping has concluded. Again, very questionable call on that third strike to Nick Izzo. That one will be a called strike to Charlie Wortham. Wortham 0 for 1 with a walk tonight. You mentioned the strikeouts. That's something we talked about earlier in the season with the Doubledays. Strikeouts and leaving men on base. As a dribbler over to third, as Evan Brock coming in, fielding bare hand, throwing to first, gets away from the first baseman as Wortham turns and heads to second. He'll be at second thanks to that throwing error, as the Doubledays have a man in scoring position with 2 outs.
Maybe that's the break that Auburn needs. Unfortunately, it's just been too often they're getting these breaks when they have 2 outs already on the board. Can't generate much. Sam Meyer steps up with a runner in scoring position.
Wortham gets on from an infield single, then advances on a throwing error from Evan Brock. Sam Meyer, as Ryan mentioned, stepping to the plate. So both teams making errors in the 8th inning. Doubledays made 2 errors at the top half of the inning. An error made from the Pilots right there, and that just goes to the strikeout point. Doubledays, yeah, you can work good at bats, but putting the ball in play. I've said it many times, and I'll say it tonight on our final broadcast. Put the ball in play, and good things can happen. Sam Meyer 0 for 2, looking to change that, as first pitch he'll see will be there for strike number 1. Meyer not happy with it. Neither are the fans at Falcon Park. Meyer takes a step out of the box to regroup. Now steps back in. Ingram peering into the catcher. Buxton gets the sign he wants. Looking back at second, delivers an 0-1 pitch in the dirt for ball number 1. So it's a 1-1 count, Sam Meyer. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Doubledays only 3 hits on the night. 1-1 pitch is going to be swung on and missed from Meyer. That is now going to bring the count to 1-2, as Ben Buxton is going to head out to the mound and talk with Grant Ingram about how he wants to approach this final strike, or next pitch to Sam Meyer.
Both looking away from Meyer, staring off into the outfield. Meyer, yesterday we talked about it, very flashy performance, 2 huge doubles that contributed to the Doubledays Mercy Rule victory over Newark. Auburn hasn't played with any of that same fire throughout this entire contest. Still just 3 hits on the day for your Auburn Doubledays.
One of those doubles did come in an 0-2 count with 2 strikes, so Meyer here on a 1-2 count with 2 strikes, looking to replicate the long drive he hit out to left field last night, as Ingram is going to step off second and step off the mound and walk over to second. Crowd not a fan of it. Nobody covering second for the Pilots, as Wortham is able to get as big as a lead he wants now. Second baseman Wagner shading over towards it. The 1-2 pitch to Meyer is going to be hit in the air, a pop-up that's going to go foul, but the bat also leaving the hands of Meyer. His teammate Bobby Hardy will retrieve it for him, as it looks like Sam Meyer is going to grip the bat a little harder this time.
Meyer using the bat like a throwing axe right there.
Job. Tyler Vivak was showing off some nice cat-like reflexes to get out of the way, as that bat was headed towards him. Able to avoid that one, as the 1-2 once again is going to be swung on and missed from Meyer, as Grant Ingram gets out of the inning, leaving Charlie Wortham at second base. Ingram struck out all 3 of the outs he recorded in the 8th. As we head to the top of the 9th, we have a 3-0 ball game. Zach Ruffing's coming back out to the mound, looking to keep it at 3-0 and give his offense a chance in the bottom half, but first to the top half. We'll be back with more Doubledays baseball. We got one more inning here at Falcon Park here in the regular season. We'll be right back after this. 3-0 ball game as we have entered the 9th and potential final inning of baseball regular season for the Doubledays. As Mauricio, the top of the order for the Pilots, steps to the plate. Still, Zach Ruffing on the mound for the Doubledays. First pitch to Mauricio is going to be blown outside for ball number 1. The Mauricio, Mason Haar, Justin, and Cora 3 due up for Pilots. No pitch going to be hit the shin guard of Mauricio for foul ball. Count even at 1-1.
That baby blue shin guard that we talked about yesterday, it's been put to good use by UC over these past few days.
There for looks. Protecting left shin of Mauricio. Same thing happened last night. Back in the batter's box after it happens again here tonight. 1-1 count. Lines one right back up the middle for a single to lead off the inning. As we've seen that a few times against Ruffing in these innings of relief. This will be the 4th inning that Ruffing has started on the mound. Came in relief back in the 5th inning to get an Ingram to end the inning, but in the 6th inning gave up a leadoff single, and then in the 7th inning also gave up a leadoff single. No runs have come around to score though from that, as plate umpire is going to call a balk on Zach Ruffing. Going to advance Mauricio over to second without pitch even being thrown. Mason Haar.
I believe that's just the second time all year we've seen a balk be called here at Falcon Park.
I wasn't exactly sure what Ruffing did, but there was no argument from the reliever, so must have known exactly what the home plate umpire was calling him. Haar's first pitch he sees in his at-bat is going to be fouled off for strike number 1. Haar 1 for 3 with a walk and a single here tonight. Stands off of second. Ruffing deals an 0-1. That one's going to be fouled off. Count quickly now 0-2. 2 foul balls.
Ruffing hitting 50 pitches with that one right there. His 4th inning of work. Very impressive from veteran pitcher.
Trying to put out pitch. Our 0-2 pitch is going to be hit in the air out to right field. Gianni DeSurbo is under it, fields it, now throws to third. Mauricio tagging up the throw, will not be in time though. Speed of Rico gets him base with ease. Standing 90 feet from home. Justin Angora steps to the plate. 1 out.
Doubledays really can't afford to let any more runs come in. Haven't seen Auburn be able to capitalize on anything offensively today. 4th run tacked on would make it even more difficult for the Doubledays to mount a 9th inning rally.
A look at ball 1 from Ruffing. Been on times tonight. He's 1 for 2 with an single, 2 walks. 1-0 pitch would be in there for strike number 1. Infield is in. Ryan just mentioned it. Can't allow another run, so a ground ball. They're going to go home with it or try and hold Mauricio at third and then go to the out, as that one's going to be over the head of the infielders into right field, scoring Mauricio easily. That'll be an RBI single for Justin Angora, who goes the other way to plate the 4th run of the night for Newark.
This doesn't appear to be Auburn's night tonight. And they'll still have their ups in the bottom half of the inning, so can't lose hope yet. But 4-0 deficit for your Auburn Doubledays in their home finale.
I've seen Auburn big innings Need to see a big inning in the bottom of the ninth for a chance to come back. This ball game is that one. This is just inside for ball number 1. Heck, if you look at last night's game, Auburn scored 5 runs, 2 separate innings. Right now, 5 runs. Walk off the game. Pickoff attempt not in time. Right now, the defense only worried about getting 2 more outs and getting out of the innings. Low pitch will be there for strike number 1. At 1-1. Just past 8:10 here. Auburn. Finale for the Doubledays. A 1-1 pitch from Zach Ruffing to Grant Ingram will be there for strike number 2. Ruffing ahead in the count 1-2 to Ingram. Ingram had a pair of sac flies in the first and third inning. Flew out. Fifth inning. An error last inning. All time. Swinging. Back into the batter's box. Ahead in the count 1-2. Deals the pitch. That's going to be lined over the head of Tyler Vivacqua at short into center field. Heading to third now is going to be Justin Angora. The throw is going to be not in time as sliding in head first is Angora. He goes from first to third to put runners on for the Pilots here. Top of the 9th. Still only 1 out has been recorded for the Doubledays.
This is where the hits are becoming a concern. As I've mentioned, Ruffing, not exactly a strikeout pitcher, forces bad contact. The Pilots, though, have started to rack up the good contact here in these 8th and 9th innings.
Angora was on first, immediately was off to the races as soon as that ball off the bat, turning second, knowing he was going 3. Paid off as he slid headfirst into the bag safely as Parker Zeisser. Look at strike number 1. Zach Ruffing. Pilots are up to double-digit numbers in hits. That Grant Ingram single, 10th hit of the ball game. They have only had 3 hits and no runs. Second pitch, a strike, as the Pilots have had 10 hits and 4 runs tonight. Ruffing ahead in the count now, 0-2. To find a put-out pitch. 0-2 pitch is going to be fouled off. Live. Tyler Vivacqua and Matt McGeorge stopped the second baseman, playing in double play depth, hoping a ground ball to ending double play. As the 0-2 is in there for strike number 3, as that'll sit down Parker Zeisser. Looking a huge second out in the top half of the inning. Zach Ruffing and the Doubledays is now looking to get 1 more out and hand it to the offense, trying to make a comeback. Before they get to that, it's going to be Evan Brock, who singled in his last at-bat, the 8th inning. Remain on first and third. 2 outs. Ruffing's pitch to Brock will be just inside for ball number 1.
I will say, I came into this game saying Ruffing, not exactly a strikeout pitcher. Well, through less than 5 full innings of work, has 5 strikeouts this game, more than he had the entire season up to this point.
No pitch is going to be hit in the air, out to left field. Going back is Bobby Hardy on the track, on the wall, makes the catch for the 3rd and final out. Great play in left field from Bobby Hardy, tracking that one all the way to the back of the warning track with his back touching the wall. He makes the grab, as that'll end the top of the 9th. Doubledays to the plate, looking to either tie this game in walk-off fashion. We'll need a comeback, as down by 4 runs here, down to their last 3 outs. Regular season, look to come back in front of their home crowd. We'll be back at Falcon Park, potentially what could be final 3 outs of the regular season. Don't go anywhere. Be right back after this.
Leading off for the Doubledays, the first out, number 21, Tyler Vivacqua.
So if the Doubledays are looking to make a comeback in the bottom of the 9th, it'll be with the top of the order up at the plate. Tyler Vivacqua, the leadoff hitter, will begin at the bottom of the 9th, taking on Grant Ingram, as Ingram's first pitch will be there for strike number 1 to Vivacqua. Vivacqua, a rough night at the plate, 0 for 3. Get on base for his first time tonight. Pitch going to be inside for ball number 1. Even in the count at 1. Third baseman Evan Brock playing even with the infield grass, anticipating maybe a bunt attempt from Vivacqua, but that pitch is going to be in there for strike number 2. So Vivacqua now behind in the count 1 and 2, and the 2 strikes is going to put any thought of a bunt attempt back in the mind of the third baseman Evan Brock. 1-2 pitch from Ingram, going to get Vivacqua chasing for strike number 3. The out number 1 in the bottom of the 9th. Bobby Hardy steps to the plate for the Doubledays.
It's just been a different Doubledays team than we've seen over the past few days. Auburn yesterday only had 2 players not record hits, and every player got on base at least once. Well, today we're looking at it. Auburn struck out 14 times, and only 2 players haven't been struck out at least once.
Grant Ingram's first pitch to Bobby Hardy will be high for ball number 1. Grant Ingram stepped into relief back in the 5th inning for 4 innings of great work from the starter Cosgrove Zeisser. Ingram's picked up right where Zeisser left off. His second pitch is going to be high, so a 2-0 count now to Bobby Hardy. And for the Doubledays, I say it, the last regular season game here, it's pass the baton. That's what you need to do at the plate. You don't need to try everything yourself. Get on base and hand it off to the guy on deck, as the 2-0 pitch is going to be high as Bobby Hardy now looking at a 3-0 count. Grant Ingram.
That baton will need to be passed at least 4 times. They're trailing by 4 runs right here. The first step in the line of dominoes could be Bobby Hardy getting a walk right here.
3-0 pitch from Ingram is outside, so that will be a walk, a 4-pitch walk to Bobby Hardy, as the Doubledays will have a runner on first base. as Mark Gialusi steps to the plate. 0 for 2 with a walk in this ball game. As Buxton, the catcher, signs to the infield on how they want to approach this at-bat. I doubt we would see Bobby Hardy on the move in this situation just because of the fact you wouldn't want to make a out on the base paths as the ground ball is going to be hit to Evan Brock at third. Throw to second in time for one. Throw to first is going to be also in time for a inning, and well, not only an inning-ending double play, but a game-ending double play from the Pilots as Rocket goes to second. Wagner goes to first. Secure the win for the Newark Pilots. They take home a 4-0 win, defeating the Doubledays in the final game of the regular season here at Falcon Park. Doubledays are not able to mount a comeback. But for the Doubledays, this isn't the end of the road for them. They still
Certainly isn't.
have the postseason, and if you tuned in earlier, Doubledays had clinched the number 4 seed no matter what. This game essentially wasn't going to do anything for their standings. They are in the postseason. The only thing that could have changed postseason, what was going to happen in the postseason, was the Batavia versus the Jamestown game that was happening earlier today. Batavia won that game, so it will be the Doubledays traveling to Batavia for the first round of the playoffs. So for the Doubledays, even though they don't get the win here, it's not as if this was their last game of the season. They still have the most important game of their season coming up against Batavia. Ryan, obviously not the way you want to finish regular season at Falcon Park, but for the Doubledays, what should their mindset be heading into the postseason against Batavia?
The mindset has to just be focused on what was going right in the week leading up to this game, because everything seemed to be trending upwards. You look at the 12-2 victory yesterday, another impressive victory over Newark the day before. This Auburn team was headed in the right direction. This was a setback, sure, but this could also be used as a wake-up call. You see it all the time. Teams lose late in the regular season. That's the spark that they need to say, okay, this is what we can work on. This is what we can focus on heading into the postseason, because at the end of the day, that's all that really matters, how you show up in those win or go home games.
Absolutely. Doubledays fall 4-0 here. Again, they will take on the number 1 seeded Batavia Muck Dogs, the first round of the Western Division playoffs. Don't exactly know what day that Western first round game will play, because I believe they're still figuring out everything on the East Division side. So stay tuned to the social media and website for more information on when exactly that game will be played. But Ryan, for Doubledays fans, that might be saying, oh no, we're playing the number 1 seed. Why should they have hope heading into the postseason, not only against Batavia, but against potential other opponents if they're able to get past Batavia? Why should Doubledays fans have hope in this team?
Well, we've seen this Doubledays team really play up to the competition all year. Now, you could say one of the critiques of this Doubledays squad could be that sometimes they'd also play down to competition. They'd have tough games against Geneva, against Niagara. But one thing that we saw consistently from Auburn is that when they played Batavia, when they played Jamestown, and when they played Niagara Falls, they were almost never run off the field. They always looked like they belonged there. Even though they're the 4 seed, it's pretty even between all top 4 teams. So I really don't think there's any gap in skill or talent between those top 4 in Batavia, Batavia, Niagara Falls, Auburn, and then Jamestown.
100%. And just look back at this past week, Doubledays fans. Doubledays beat the Muck Dogs 5-3 here at home on Tuesday, then on the road lose a heartbreaker 11-10 in extras. So like Ryan just mentioned, they have definitely played up to the level against Batavia, and then they've swept Jamestown here in a doubleheader at home before. So this is a possibility for the Doubledays to go into each of those games, as the road team, as quote-unquote the underdog, walk out of there with a win. This is a team that I'm sure Aiden Zur will be starting that first game against Batavia, and he proved something just a few nights ago. He looks unhittable and unstoppable on the mound.
I'd have to agree with you. And Luke, that brings me to a good question that I was going to ask you. This being the last, potentially the last broadcast of the season. We assume the last broadcast, but hey, PGCBL Championship, if it's here at Falcon Park, we might be making a return. Again, root for your Auburn Doubledays, but with it being the end of the season, let's get one offensive and MVP and one pitcher MVP for this Doubledays season.
Great question. Offensive, I'd have to go. I'm split between either Tyler Vivacqua or Adam Sullivan. Can't go wrong with either one of them. I'd go, at the moment, I'll say Adam Sullivan. No slight to Tyler Vivacqua. Adam Sullivan has just currently ended the season on such a hot streak. You can flip a coin between the two. And then starting pitchers wise, Owen Burchard, incredible throughout his time here. Aiden Zerd, what have you done for me lately? You know what? I'd have to go.
Also could look at Brendan Heilman, who was named one of the midseason All-Stars. I think I'd agree with you. Burchard is the first name that comes to my mind solely because he lasted longer, played basically the entire regular season with the Auburn Doubledays. While he won't be there for the playoff run, Burchard was crucial to the Doubledays making the playoffs. So I think it's a toss-up between a few of those guys. Burchard probably is the choice for pitchers.
100%. And you look at even guys we didn't name offensively, Anthony DeCesare, Marchialucci. I mean, you could go down the lineup and make the case for about 5 or 6 different guys. And even, relievers, starters on the pitching side as well. There's guys that have arguments for these titles. So even though we might not mention them here, this team is deep. Unlike a lot of teams here in this point of the season. So this is why, again, if you're a Doubleday fan, you should be confident heading into the postseason. Even though you're the 4 seed taking on the 1 seed, you should have some type of optimism heading to Batavia.
That's certainly fair. And, Luke, Green Day's playing, the sun is setting. It's a great day for your Auburn Doubledays, even with the loss.
100% here at Falcon Park. Away from hitting 8:30. We appreciate everyone not only tuning into this game, but tuning into our broadcast the entire season. I know I've had an incredible time. I'm sure I can speak for Ryan and him saying he's had an incredible time. And Ryan, if this is the final time we're broadcasting this summer, tell the fans that are listening where they can find you, over this next year until Doubledays baseball returns to Auburn. Anything you have going on, let the people know where you'll be at.
Well, if you want to stick along, follow me on Instagram, rstory53. I'll also be calling local high school games in the Syracuse area, high school football, that is. I'll be on the Syracuse.com network calling football games, something that's popping up for the first year, the inaugural season. So maybe Auburn High School is getting on there. We'll see. It's going to be on a week-by-week basis, but make sure to tune in for any football broadcasts. And follow me on the socials as well. Also, Ryan J. Story on Twitter/X. Follow along on socials. I'll be happy to accept any requests. And if you have any of the fans at all want to reach out, happy to do so.
Absolutely. I'll be looking forward to those broadcasts. Personally, for myself, I'll be heading back to Texas in just about a week. That's where I'm from. Graduated from Syracuse, and if you're a boxing fan, I have a boxing YouTube channel, the Never Drop Podcast. Feel free to go check it out. If you want to follow along on socials, Backman Sports at Twitter. Hoping to get more into baseball broadcasting. I love baseball, definitely a passion for mine, and I've enjoyed calling Doubledays games this summer. As we hit 8:30, Doubledays will head to the postseason this week. Thank you once again for tuning in, not only to tonight's broadcast, but this entire season. It's been a joy and a pleasure signing out for the last time. Luke Backman with my broadcast partner, Ryan Story. Have a great night, Doubledays fans, and look forward to Batavia versus Auburn. Round 1 of the playoffs coming right up. Have a great night, everybody.